Do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, we'll let you cut right on here, Jessica. Get you right up here. Hopefully we can get you in and out.
In and out? Okay. I currently have lost 2 and am requesting 3 more. John Bayless, Herb Slackerhurt, and John Cook to join our board.
Cook, K-O-C-H?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, those are the names you're proposing to join the board?
Yes.
Don Bayless.
John Bayless, Herb. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce his last name, but I have it wrote down.
How do you spell it?
Slajchert.
Oh my. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, just spell it. I don't want to butcher that
You
one.
want me to?
Just give it to me.
Here, you want that?
Here, you want that?
Sure.
Good idea.
It's a different.
It's unique.
Not-
Yeah, okay, so Dawn and John are the 2, and you need both, right?
Yes, I need.
You need
The
3?
three.
She needs 3 of them.
Well, who's 3? You only have 2.
John Cook.
Right here.
Okay, I'm
Current
sorry,
members.
Irv. Okay, it's Dawn, Irv, and John. Well, I moved.
Schlachter.
Second.
I think it's
Second.
Schlachter?
Schlachter.
Shackert?
Okay, got a motion second.
Second.
Yeah. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Yes, have you?
Oh,
Motion carries.
oh, there you go.
Okay, thank you guys.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty painless, wasn't it?
Do you guys need that?
Do you care?
No.
Okay,
That's
thank
fine.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want those names?
Well, Mandy, you're up.
Okay. First, I would like to present claims in the amount of $1,488,238.64.
Yeah, the reason that's so, I spoke with Brandy earlier today. The way they're doing this, South Market, this is it's federal money that flows through NDOT, and they submit the bills to us, and we pay. Then we request reimbursement. But this time, NDOT wanted us to pay our full amount. It was 1.2 million, 100,000. Was it 101,000 or something like that? So we paid that whole amount. We're paying the whole amount to NDOT, and they're going to take care of all the construction bills, which is really nice. And so we won't have any more to pay on that. And that's why it's so high. The other interesting thing, she was telling me that on the construction inspection, which will be around $600,000, we will get billed for that, pay it, and request reimbursement. So we'll get 80% match on the construction inspection.
That's nice.
But that's why it's so high, and I'm just about to the end of it. Anybody else see anything?
One thing to add to that, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but this project's been in the works for many years, and so the cost have went up from estimates from in the past, and the state moved their 80-20 match right along with it. So that was a big thing for us.
Big.
I mean, it's obviously still more money, but we're still going to get. I mean,
Yeah.
they're still giving us the full 80%.
Yeah, the inflation hit us about 201,000. I mean, that's what the increase in costs hit us at.
So that's a big, shout out to the state.
Oh, yeah.
For
Yeah, huge help. I move approved claims.
Second.
all in favor.
Aye.
All right.
Next is the minutes from the last meeting. I think Brandy said she sent them all to you, Melissa. You weren't not here,
Correct.
so you didn't have to sign.
April 3rd. It wouldn't be April 3rd.
No,
It'd be
I
March
read it.
It's a
20th.
typo
March 20th.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
on the agenda.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it was the last meeting, right? I was there. I moved to approve.
Second.
All in favor.
Aye.
There's your
Okay.
claims part.
Oh.
Next is the billing adjustments in the amount of $13,868.89, and there is plenty of that in here. if
Holy
you'd
moly.
like to read.
Yeah, what's that all about?
There were several this time. A lot of broken water pipes, I think, through the winter months.
Okay. Yeah, that's a bunch.
Yeah.
Well, in the sake of efficiency, I move to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor.
Aye.
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 And then we have the bank recs for January of 23. Balanced.
Yay. Move to approve bank recs. Do we just sign the top? There's nothing else?
I think so, just the front page.
Second. Beat you.
I tried.
Thank you.
No, that's not here either.
Oh, yeah. And that's all I have.
All right. So is Nick not coming, have you, anybody heard from him?
Commissioners meeting.
Oh, maybe bring it over.
Got done.
Oh, was it?
It was done?
Well, we'll go ahead and get Doug, or Bill on there.
Okay, I presented a quarterly budget. The first page just kind of breaks down stuff a little bit better. The second page has what was allotted for like office supplies and how much has been spent for the first quarter. Going back to the first page, you'll look at the equipment and notice it looks kind of high at $9,618. If you look at that front page, $8,324 was from last year's budget. We sent the check out. Check was lost in the mail. We had to cancel the check and then resubmit it, which brought it into this year instead of last year like it was supposed to be. There's some table mounts for $294. Those will be reimbursed by a grant that the EOC did. $1,438, that's going to be our reserves workman's comp, and also the commissioners, they have to every year renew their bond. So that's where that came from. There's a medical expense for $1,521, and that's whenever we have a new hire that has to go through PERF and get the evaluation.
$22,601 miles, huh? I'll be darned.
And that's all the vehicles. That's
I don't think we've ever seen that number before. That's interesting.
If you would have walked to the meeting, you could have knocked that last line.
Yeah, right. 263 reserve hours.
yes. We have not used overtime. I know there's a figure there for overtime hours. We didn't actually use that. That was Karen misread the new time card, and she's in the process of working that one out. But it shows a $7.38. We did use part-time help for training. One of our part-time officers is an instructor, so he came in and instructed. So we used him for part-time. So far, we've been able to keep that down. That doesn't mean we'll continue to. Right now, Hannah's getting ready to go to the academy. Brady will go to the academy right after that. So for the next 6 months, we're going to be without an officer. So there may be an opportunity, or however you want to word it, that we may have to use part-time or overtime at that point. And unfortunately, overtime is one of those that we're never going to completely avoid, just due to core training and whatnot.
Well, the good news is we're not accumulating comp time, right?
Right, no, there's zero
And
comp time.
That's the upside of all this.
So moving, does anybody have any questions on the budget?
What about the K-9 funds?
So the K-9 funds is listed on there because when you run the report, it shows that $7,460.55 was used. Actually, what that is it was transferred. You guys had it transferred last year. That comes out of the that's on the statement, so I have it listed because it is on the statement, but it's not actually money that is spent. That's just money that's been moved and shows on the, I think it's the appropriations detail.
Okay, but there's no remaining balance in that fund?
No, there
Okay.
is none. It's been moved.
Okay, good.
No, it's a good report, Bill. Thanks. That's
Yep.
nice to see how you're doing the first 3 months. Things look pretty good. Yeah, saving $200 per month on phone now.
230 so far because of
230.
the cell phones also.
Yeah.
Because we got rid of a couple of MiFi devices, we didn't need any more, so I'm expecting it maybe to go down even more, but
Yeah.
we will see. March 2023 statistics, criminal investigation, we had 21. Last year we had 39.
It's everybody's behavior.
Well, last year we did OPO in March, Operation Pullover. So we had a lot more activity because we had a lot more officers working federally allocated funds. And because you're doing that high visibility stopping, you're getting a lot more activity. We have a little bit less activity this year versus last year due to us not participating in that this year. We had 10 potentially violent cases. Calls for service 425. We had 323 last year. Traffic crashes. We had 4 last year. We had 8. We didn't have any vehicles towed this year, but we had 2 last year. Incidents 2 last year. 4. Had 7 arrests this year. 13 last year. We've had 6 alarms. One of those was invoiced. The rest of them, with the ordinance giving them the warning for the first offense, they fell into that category. ECWS, on our e-ticket system, we had 42 entries in March. Some of these entries may have more than one of the below listed items. We had 1 felony this year. Last year we had 3. 4 misdemeanors, 24 last year. 6 infractions, 36 last year. 35 warnings, 124. Now, like I said, those misdemeanors might be driving while suspended. When you're doing that high saturation or pulling people over, you're getting a lot more suspended drivers. So I believe a lot of that is between suspended drivers, OWI, stuff like that.
So why is the call, just looking at the calls, I mean, they're up by like 30, they're up 100 for the first quarter. What do you think that, just bad, last year's number may not be quite accurate, or do you think it's calls actually increased that much?
I think calls have increased. I think it's definitely busier out there. If you look at the job market, everybody's looking for help. If everybody's looking for help, that means everybody's not working. Idle hands.
Yeah.
I would add to that, if you guys ever get a chance to go down, I know Chris doesn't need to, but, and see their
Use of force.
use of force, it's very interesting. It's definitely worth going to watch them once in a while. Gives you a little better understanding of what these guys are going through. It really does. So.
Okay.
All right, that's all I have.
All right.
Unless you have something.
No, thank you.
Looks good, thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Doug?
Well, just start off very little.
Do we want to mention the fire department report before we jump to Doug?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for getting a quarterly report. Sorry, Doug.
Oh,
Yeah, fire department, Jim sent out a budget thing, showing where he's at for the first quarter, and as just like as a police department, they're doing a really good job keeping their costs down. I assume everybody got that. I think they handed out one up. Everybody here, didn't they? Yeah, I don't see anything on there worth talking about. I just want to make sure we acknowledge the effort.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
So yeah, now you can go, Doug.
I did forget to mention one thing.
Wait.
I'm going home.
With the expected rising cost of fuel,
Yes.
I spoke with Ian, and he had worked on other departments, did some research, and we've implemented a new program to try and save on fuel, where we're going to be shutting our vehicle off 10 minutes every hour. We're going to get out and do some foot patrols, and put out again, no needless idling, like you're out for a break or you're out for lunch, or if you're on a call for a VIN check where you're not expecting to have any body fight where you might need to get your shotgun or rifle, shut the car off. Obviously, if we go to a domestic, our cars are running, we don't have time to, there's other things that go into that, but we don't have time to shut the cars off when we're dealing with situations like that.
Okay.
Sorry, Doug.
That's all right.
Okay, Doug.
Well, storm. Luckily, we didn't get hit very hard, but we did have 3 call-outs. All of them were for trees. 2 of them were in the road, and then one we did have on College Street took out our primary power. So we were in for stringing out new power line, but that's about it. And they cleaned up storm damage around town today, so.
So I saw they got that tree that fell over a couple weeks ago and kind of hanging out below Woodland, right there in that curve.
Yeah, I pointed that out for him last week, and then we noticed this morning some branches had already broke.
Yeah.
So I told him better go ahead and get it. The storm coming in tomorrow night,
Yeah.
maybe keep us from coming in tomorrow night. So
Yeah.
they got that. So, but they've been pretty good about keeping their eye on broken stuff and trying to get that stuff cut out so we're not in at night,
Good.
cleaning it up. and
I was
everything.
going to tell you, because we went walking yesterday, like 3 houses down from me to the west, right, that power line runs right behind that row of houses. There's a new tree it's a big one.
Okay.
And it's like, I want to see, 1, 2, third house down from me. Second, third behind there. But
Close
it's,
to Adams, isn't it?
I don't know.
You don't know Adam Brown?
No, it's not his house, it's the next one.
Well, it's close, I said.
Yes, it's the next one.
Close. Yeah, I'll get him I put it down here, so we'll get that looked at tomorrow.
Because it's real close, those lines.
So I also went by the cemetery yesterday, and there was a pile of sticks on the north side of the north drive. Was that something you guys done, or was that?
I saw somebody walking yesterday. I won't mention individual, but he was out picking up sticks and stacking them there.
Okay,
An
that was fun.
elderly fella. Yeah, it kind of caught my attention. Well, who the heck's working in there on a Sunday?
It looked great up front. I mean,
Well, they picked up sticks today, then we'll send a crew out tomorrow for the spring cleanup.
Oh,
Yeah, both
Better wait
cemeteries.
till after tomorrow.
Well, this will get the flowers. Maybe that won't blow around, but that'll be tomorrow, weather permitting. We'll get that all cleaned up. Speaking of the cemetery, I'll go ahead and let you know you're talking about trash cans. They set wooden posts, treated posts, and put hooks on there so they're off the ground, and you'll be able to weed eat under them, not have to pick them up, and the wind don't blow them away.
okay.
And so they've done that, which looks nice. I like the way it looks and everything. But and then we jetted our lift stations. They're all been jetted and cleaned. We do that every couple of months, try to keep them up. Stump grinding, we did get stumps, all Market Street stumps that we needed to grind are been grinded. We got 4 at the cemeteries, 3 at Memory Garden, and 1 at the old cemetery, and we got that 1 at Wisenbach Park that was just off the road there beside that other tree. We went ahead and got that out of there and everything. So that was the stumps we was able to get. We got alleys graded, and like I said, the post, and then. So next week we're going to be concentrating on storm drains and obviously the pool. Pool will be big.
What are you using on the alley? That John Deere?
Yeah, the John Deere. And we have a plane. It's called the plane, which works real nice. The rock flows over the top of it instead of just piling up. It levels out a lot nicer and everything. So I had a guy on it. I believe he got about all of them. And then we had that camera crew in for the storm drain on Harris. Looks like that pipe did push out and it's filled in behind it. So we're in the process of trying to get a price. I do have just a little bit
Well, who did the work on that? Do you remember?
price, and he's not.
Price.
I haven't been able to get him to answer or call back. But right now we're looking at Dave having to get prices on Traco for us doing it ourselves. And right now, just with the riprap and the pipe, and then 2 days with a 330, I believe it is what he recommended to reach 25 feet. We're looking at $5,467 for us to do it. That's not counting our man hours and stuff like that, but that's just getting a Traco truck in. And that's not including, I didn't figure out, it's $200 an hour to get the Traco here, because they have to hire a private company to do it because they don't have nothing big enough to bring it in. And that depending on where it's at. As soon as he leaves his house, we're on the clock. So if he has to, say, go from Terre Haute to Indy to get it, then here, and then whenever he comes back, wherever he delivers, so it'll be $200 an hour, so whatever that figures
What
out.
did we pay last time? Was it 13 or 17?
I thought somebody would have said around 17,000.
I think it was 17. The estimated 30 came in at 17. We were all happy, but we didn't realize it wasn't going to last very long.
Yeah, the pipe I've got priced at $1,527 is the metal pipe, and that includes the band. We'll have a band that'll actually bolt around it, and it buttons right up to it. It won't be moving. So this is
Well, Dave, what do you think?
Should have been fixed that way.
You're got some digging background.
Well, I mean, you guys think you can handle it?
I think so.
But if you go that deep,
Experience.
yeah, going that deep, what is it you have to do?
You need to lay it back.
Yeah, we have to dig it back. The only hard part about it is going to be watch as Bloomingdale has their fiber right through it. It was exposed last time.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Really through there?
Going across there?
Yeah, there's a box right there by the pole that's busted. They've been waiting on a new box, and it finally come in. But yeah, it was.
Well, we don't want to hit that.
They actually had to tie it off to the pole and hold it up so it wouldn't sag, and so that.
Well, them guys are good to work with. So.
Yeah, I don't have any problem working with them. So, and that's 2 days, provided we can get in there and get it out done in 2 days, and it could possibly be a little bit more if something happens. with
Well,
it.
I like the idea. You need a motion.
I would think if we're
I'll
gonna
move.
rent it.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. And then the other thing I had cambered was I had them come up here on Michigan Street in York. They've been having some sewer trouble right there at one of the houses. And when he went up into the pipe heading south on Michigan from York, there's no pipe there. It's just a big hole, void.
Okay.
So it's located. I believe that's Wednesday's project. We'll be digging about 12 foot deep and hopefully find the pipe. And
So, yeah, I think Dave and I were talking about that last week. That's on the schedule to be paid.
yeah, that's why we want to get on it. And
So
go.
I mean, I don't know what you plan on doing backfill, but I would definitely, I mean, pea gravel's, 98% compaction right out of the truck, but I would think we'd want to cap that with concrete also, just to keep it from,
Well, yeah.
we'll get that thing blacktopped and next year we got a bag in it that's,
So you mean the top of it so far down you want to?
yeah. I mean, I'd put at least, I don't know how big a hole you're gonna have, but.
Right now I've got it marked about 3 foot wide and I think around 16 foot long, just so we can get back far enough to make sure.
What's
You
that?
got a trench box?
Yep.
You said you're gonna be 12 feet deep?
Well, I called it in for 12. The pipe to the bottom of it's 10, so real close. So, but yeah, we have aluminum boxes.
What's the
there.
minimum concrete order? 7?
Probably three yards. I don't know.
3 or 4.
I thought it used to be 5, went to 7. It's that
that's
low.
all.
I think last time we got it for sidewalks, it was 3 or 4.
Well, how many yards that hole gonna be? I wonder.
What'd you say it was?
I've got it marked, I think 16 foot long and about 3 foot wide will be. That gives us plenty of room to get the box in. We're not fighting it. But I used to go,
16.
yeah, that'd be 3 by 16.
That's not right.
Well, I agree. Pea gravel, concrete would be ideal.
I usually go pea gravel around the pipe and everything, and then we've been throwing 8s, and then we top them off with like 53s. So it's a little smoother than 53s, or it's got lime and it stays packed better than.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured.
Oh well, I just curious.
I mean, it's. I don't think we'll hit the minimum even if we went with a 6-inch cap. I don't think.
Well, still, we can dump the excess somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're going to pave the road. You don't want to sinking down next spring already.
Well, what we can do is get that dug Wednesday. Try to get dug Wednesday and repaired, get it backfilled, and then we can give it a little time to settle, and then come in and take out that 6 inches, and then maybe we can find a sidewalk or somewhere we need to.
Oh, I'm sure we can find a sidewalk. Just
Area we need to repair that we could go
Yeah.
ahead and get ready too for that day. Because I mean, it ain't like the road's got to be
It might
smooth.
be a good idea to contact our blacktop contractor too. Maybe let him come up and see what he wants to do.
Okay.
Once the concrete's capped, if he wants to put some hot mix in there and
All right, I'll give him a
and
call.
then either mill. I don't know if they're going to mill it or not. I don't know what they do.
I would assume that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, they have been milling
They
every.
mill everything.
So if they're going to mill it, then I mean, you can bring it up to whatever he said. If they're going to take an inch off, then we'll just leave it down an inch and
Okay.
let them mill it.
All right. All right, and then rental backhoe, we had to rent a backhoe. Ours is down. I've called some of you and let you know that, and I just want to give you guys the price. It was $9.75, but they give us 20% off because we're having the backhoe fixed at their place. So it'll be $7.80 a week. Then it was $4.75, and that's to bring us the rental, pick ours up, and then bring it back. It's all in that price, and then it should be around $7,600 for the repair of the backhoe.
Okay.
So they already have it. It looks like it's going to be 2 weeks for parts. We're hoping we haven't been in 2 weeks. And then the other one there is Boyer. That's his price on moving that 6-inch water line out for the Scott Pet.
Well,
And if you read it all, that's if he can stay in the grass, if he doesn't have to get in their parking lot.
whose lot would he be in?
Pet Scott.
Scott Pet?
Scott Pet, yeah.
The old Shopco?
No,
No.
this is the one out in front.
This is
of-
one out in front of the other
Yes.
place, yeah. Well, if you have to get in the parking lot, what does that mean?
Yeah, he said, he'll have to repair, put blacktop back in, and so he just basically telling the price will be higher.
Yeah.
Whatever it costs.
Is that where they're gonna have to, they're thinking about making their tie-in?
They'll have to, the tie-in will be on the other side in the grass, but getting out around the lift station. We're hoping we can go in between the lift station and then have a water protection manhole right there that we couldn't find any lines to the west of it. So we're hoping we can shoot through there and not get out in the parking
I
lot.
mean, is it, it's gonna sound like a stupid question, but it is feeding their factory there, right?
It actually comes across, all the maps I got has come across right in front of Scott Pet. Then it goes north. And it shows it, the maps, everything Cody rolled up, and the map I got shows it tying back into that 10. I'm not sure why it would do that because it's that 10's coming off the same line. But according to the maps,
Okay. Well, I know you guys were talking about a fire hydrant out there, it just wasn't really making sense to me, but,
fire hydrant, yeah, when it comes across the road, the fire hydrant is back south just a little bit.
okay.
And then the water line, we spotted the water line all the way past where the lift station is going to be.
Well, Mike, you've been around a while. Do you know anything about this odd water line out there?
It's been there, it's an odd water line.
Well, it's,
But, you know,
to us it sounds odd.
Right. Like Doug said, they're 45 and around the current lift station that is there. That's why
Yeah.
he's talking about they may have to go into their driveway. He's thinking there's room there.
Well, what's the size of the line we're moving? And you say it ties into a 10. What's the size of the line we're moving?
6.
So why would you put a 6 into a 10, Ivan?
That's what I'm not
Well,
sure.
they put all that in because they wanted extra water out there at the time for fire protection.
Okay. Well, that's good. Fire
They did
protection's
away
good.
with A hydrant that they had out back. They
Okay.
brought it back in the facility.
All right. Sounds good to me. You need a motion?
Yeah, if we're gonna have him fix it.
Well, yeah, we got to get this thing done. We're holding up the project. I move.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, got that off there.
And like I said, the only other thing down there I had you guys there was that calendar that shows you we got hydrant flushing coming up in May, and then I've got the crack seal machine scheduled
Good.
in May too. So
Okay.
the hydrant flushing will take 4 guys, like 2 crews going out.
I haven't been down Michigan for a minute, but if we're gonna blacktop that, I don't know where we're standing on Anderson too, but, you wanna make sure that we're trimming trees on them streets.
Yeah, I'll double check and see what they look like and everything. But yeah, not a problem. But
I got a couple things for Doug. I got a couple things for Doug.
A couple
A
what?
couple things for Doug here.
Oh,
Well, yeah, get going. Don't hold up. The thing out on West 36. Did you get that thing taken care of? They're doing culvert replacement. Or did,
not just yet. I looked at the map. It's hard to tell the way they got it, but they should have all the information.
well, they just want us to confirm the location.
Yes.
Okay.
But I went out there and measured everything, and Jeff was to send them what we've got out there. But so it should be correct, unless they didn't understand the measurements. But
Okay.
it looks like they're just cleaning it up, rip wrapping it, and everything. So I don't.
Okay, so that's that. The other thing, this just kind of got updated today. That remember the washer compactor we've all been talking about for quite a while. Brandy sent an email to Graves. That's who gave the bid to Luke Gill up at Rogers Outfit because he's involved in the design. Anyway, we got a thing back today, an updated. Really, it's the same price it was, but the point on here is this is good for a few more weeks, and it may go up 4 or 7%. They don't know. Equipment would ship in 24 to 26 weeks after approval. It takes 2 weeks to install. Brandy also reached out to Department of Corrections. Has been in conversation with someone there about this. Seemed very understanding, and but that's why we need this thing out there, is because of the prison. So I just want to know where the board's at on this. I mean, I'm ready to go ahead and prove this thing, get the thing ordered, and we'll go.
Yeah, we need to.
We'll go to DOC and see what we can do with them. But this is going to be half a year almost till we get the thing.
I mean, it sounded like they were, okay with.
Yeah, they and their budget they wrap up into the month, so we really need to get that in there and say, this is, and that's all he wanted. The guy should talk to and update, because the one that we have is December. Apparently, this one came out in January. So when we do that, Doug, get this thing done. Does that mean we don't have to use the dumpster out there anymore?
I believe we'll still have the dumpster, but the trash truck will be able to
pick it up.
Yes, because it'll be clean and dried.
If there's such a thing, yeah, clean.
Yeah, I
clean
guess.
waste.
And they'll pick it up.
So you have any input on it as far as no? Okay.
Get her. Yeah, that's me.
Get it.
Cost is just gonna keep going up.
Yeah.
Sooner you order,
Yeah.
the better off you are.
Yeah, there's two of them quoted in here. One for Strawberry Road. Yeah, Strawberry Road's 186, 742. That's one we need for that project. The one down at the head of the plant's 182, 420. We don't need to move on that today. But so
Yeah, make a motion.
I move that we proceed with getting our washer compactor for Strawberry Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Chris,
Well,
you got that one.
For the guy that has to help dump them, I appreciate you doing
Well,
that.
yeah, I mean, that's horrible. I have to haul this thing up down Howard
It's a
Avenue.
mess, and it's an accident waiting to happen.
It's not, yes.
It's a
It was making
So that's
laundry.
just for the Strawberry Road compactor. That's what you just put.
Yes.
I do appreciate it.
Okay. When do you want to talk about the parking lot? Want to Nick go first? Nick looks like he's anxious.
I was going to ask you about the parking lot anyway.
Oh.
So what I gathered
Good
from the
segue.
emails is that you were wanting me to do a easement for egress ingress to the parking lot.
Well, we're confused about the easement that Roger put in his survey. Is that
Right.
what you're referring to?
Yeah.
We don't know why that's there. Can you explain?
So I took it as an access easement. It was what he was wanting with it.
Well, why do we need an access? I mean, okay, well, that's not a public alley.
Right.
Right.
It's privately owned.
But why do we care for an easement? Because we're going to be contained inside our parking lot. So why do we
If
care?
we're in our meets and bounds of our legal description, we don't need an easement. But
Yeah.
that's why I was going to ask you. I mean, are
Okay.
you wanting me to draft an easement? And if so, are they willing to sign an easement? But
I don't think we need it. I don't think, and like I said, I've talked to the property manager. She's questioning it herself.
okay.
I'll forward you that email and their survey, which our surveys match up fine. They don't have any concerns, but she was also concerned about that easement.
Right.
And I never got an explanation from Roger about what, I mean, there's already an easement through there. Or I mean, there has to be, because, I mean, the bank's been using that lot forever.
Well, the bank has
So-
one, but we don't have one.
Well, we don't need one.
Right. That
I
was
mean, that's
my,
what I'm saying.
Right.
They-
That was my question to you is because the only thing I took out of that email was that maybe I should draft an easement, so I started putting one together. But unless you're needing that for some reason to access your lot or to do something on your lot, I didn't pick that up out of that email chain though.
No.
And it didn't. I don't think any of your design puts it into the easement area either.
Well, that's another question though. The design, I don't know how everybody feels about this, but I like Luke Waltz's footprint. As far as the actual footprint. The problem we're gonna have with that is the egress going in there.
You mean the current?
The current, the way it lays right now, where our property line, we take up about half of that entrance. So if we bring a curb out there, I mean, that's gonna be a total mess.
Well, the way Luke
So-
has it on here, you see how he kind of blends it in.
Yeah.
It's hard to see in that little picture. Yeah, that's a concern. So where are you going with that? Just a concern.
That's where I was going with it. I wanted to get everybody's feels on how they felt about it.
Well,
I personally don't like the idea of putting a curb down the south, putting a curb 21 feet north of our south line and angle parking in there.
Oh, heavens no.
I think that's,
Is that what that is?
no. That's what the other idea was.
with Luke's idea, it's a self-contained parking lot. I mean, everything is within our borders. I just like his design.
Well, it takes a parking lot and makes it look less like a parking lot is what it does. It makes it more appealing. That's what it does.
Is it concern the distance between that other building and our?
Well, there's
The way,
definitely.
the way it sits right now, I mean, people are angle parking off the building.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be hugging going through there. I mean,
It's a 16
it's
well-
16-foot easement. There's a 16-foot parking off of the building going north. And then there's another 16-foot between that and us. So there is a 16-foot lane through there. Most cars are 6.5 feet wide, so there shouldn't be an issue driving through there, but.
You got a crew cab dually or something maybe.
Well, it's still, the dually make it 8 foot or 7.5, 8 foot wide. But, there shouldn't be an issue.
I'd say if it's ours, it's ours.
Well,
And it's not our easement anyway, so
Yeah.
if the bank wants to make it a one-way, then to me, that's up to them. I guess it's been assumed, right, that it's always been a one-way, but I don't think it is right now.
well, I guess no. A lot of people do pull in there and pull out. Same
So
direction.
we're not using this pathway on the southern side for any reason for our parking lot then? Because that's where he's proposing me to draft something as a use easement.
Right, yeah, so our line's a solid line.
Right.
And
we're not
that's-
using anything on the south side of
No.
that solid line
I mean,
then. So
I
we
can-
don't really care what they do down there then.
No,
No.
that's,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, well then you don't need me to draft anything, then,
Okay.
if that's what that's not how the email read, so.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm not sure why that was even surveyed for that then. I think the survey was more so for the description of what parking lot encloses.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they tacked an easement
Here's
on top of
theirs,
it.
and I'll send this to you.
Do you have pictures
So
of the
there's
parking lot?
bank.
It's not big, but that's a picture.
That's
Yeah.
the parking.
We have an email, wouldn't it?
Okay.
We have this.
They're
in
showing their.
Yeah, but I
actually
can- yeah.
between the two of us.
We did.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I'll send this to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You don't need anything from me then, but that just wasn't clear to me in the emails, and I wasn't here because I was on vacation.
16
so,
feet's enough.
Right.
Well,
I think, we should take action tonight to see what you guys want to do. Do you want Roger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do you
He's
want
just waiting
Luke
on a
Waltz
signature,
to-
I think.
Well, that's a question. We need to go proceed with this project and decide. Okay, what's our first? It was find our boundary. We found our boundaries. Now we know exactly the size of the lot, and now it's okay. Well, do we want a basic rectangle lot, or do we want Roger designed, or do we want to go with Luke and have something that's incorporates all our space and makes it a I don't know what the proper word is. Just makes it look less like a parking lot, more like
Both of them would incorporate all the space, right?
Well, Roger'd have to go back and modify. He didn't even know where the line was until a week ago. Yeah, you've seen this, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in paying an extra $12,000 for a plan.
Well, nothing's cheap.
But plan, my thought. So
Yeah.
that's my, as far as I'm concerned, I'd ask Roger to revamp based on our new survey.
Well, have him do is gonna cost something too.
Not that much. It should dollars.
Well, I don't know. And again, Roger's an engineer. Luke is, what's the proper terminology for that type of person? But they're an architect, landscape architect, I think. Yeah, that's what they call them. And that's what we're talking about, landscaping this thing to look less like a lot, more like a public space, I guess.
So gonna have all the trees and all that in it?
Well, we're not sure we want to go with all that stuff.
It's like
Doug.
a maintenance nightmare to me.
Futuristic.
I mean, there's some of the stuff like even on the bump out, he's showing concrete. I mean, where the clock's gonna be going north, which I personally don't see a reason for that. I mean, the pavers would look great. But
Oh, yeah,
I don't
that
think we
stuff
can-
looks
I don't
nice.
think
Well,
can
we wouldn't be able
afford
to do the
that.
whole lot, we don't think. We couldn't afford it. But,
Yeah.
some pavers
Yeah, exactly.
in some key areas, what we envision, I guess.
I mean, there's been some concern about the pavers that we're gonna take up on the west side. And since we have the video going, I wanna assure everybody that we are gonna salvage them. We're probably not gonna use them up there, but we will have them. We can use them at the parking lot. Again, I know the design's already in and gone, but I mean, as I said years ago, I kinda wanted to make the crosswalks out of them, but I guess we're gonna go with a different route there, but that's fine too, so. But the brick will be saved, so we will have them. But, other than that, I mean, do you guys wanna make a motion on this, or do you wanna talk about it more?
Well, we gotta keep moving forward on this, decide who's doing what and get it done. I don't care to beat it anymore.
How you feel, Chris? I mean, it's either that or we wait till we get a full board and have Liddy here, which I personally would prefer to do it that way. But
Well, I told her, I talked to her Saturday and she, I told her I was gonna bring it up tonight. I'd like to try to get this thing done, move forward. I move we go with the Land Stewards Design Group and pursue, be all we can be when it comes to our parking lot, but that's my motion.
we have a second.
Yeah.
You want to second that?
No.
You don't want to second it? Well, even if I second it, we still got a tie, so I
Yeah.
guess we'll table it till the next meeting.
Well, darn.
So,
That's all right. That's all right. I know it'll be fine either way.
Now I
Yeah,
can
I mean,
make a
that's-
motion if
yeah.
you wanna go with
That's-
Roger. I'll make a motion to go with Roger to finalize the design.
Well,
somebody want to second that motion?
I'll second it. I don't want to wait any longer.
Okay.
I mean, I'm serious about getting things done, so let's keep it moving.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
There.
Motion carries. We got it.
Okay.
What is
We're
Roger?
done with that.
I'm sorry.
What's Roger called?
DES engineering or DES services.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you have some more stuff you wanted to talk about?
Not really anything for the public meeting now.
Okay.
Okay.
We have another meeting?
No,
Oh, well,
no. There's other things I've been doing, I guess is what I'm telling you. It's just not
Okay.
anything.
I'm gonna
that's-
look at this just to clarify a couple of things, cause my memory's,
How about you, Mac?
No, is meant for you to be.
I was gonna.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to have a project update?
Is that what's from the
Is there anything on there that you want to look at?
On which?
On the project.
On
Oh, on that?
project updates?
Well, let's just see. Okay. Yeah.
couple of other questions after that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, just side note, Roger needs to be involved with Old National, I think perhaps, and all that. Water line inventory, Doug's working on submission. 41 North, we got the water line thing figured out there. Otherwise, there's nothing for us to do there, I don't think. Well, I think Doug covered everything. Oh, the community crossing round 1, 2023. I mean, that should be out into March 1st, April. I read today, so it should be any day we'd be hearing about if we're going to get that community crossing grant.
Okay.
Good. Troy, you got anything? Bruce?
Nothing really. I do have a guy coming out to look at the plant to try to implement some efficiency. Try to cut down on electric usage. Maybe try to do biological phosphorus removal and eliminate the chemicals out there. And I'd kind of like to, if this regional, if this plan goes through, maybe we can use that money to incorporate that
Mm-hmm.
and not have to utilize federal.
You know, some of the stuff that was as
Just try to
part.
come up with some ideas to have in place.
Yeah.
That way, if it does happen, we're ready. So,
Yeah, some of the stuff in that regional, we're already working on. Well, the clarifier brushes,
Right.
the washer compactor at the headworks. I mean, that stuff we'll probably have done. If that thing ever gets off the ground, we're still going to be doing that.
yeah, I think we can make that plant a lot more efficient to cut down the operating costs. So.
Yeah. Well, that's always good. Yeah, I'm amazed what the utilities down there run a year.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's huge. I mean, it's like 86,000 a year, I believe.
It's pretty crazy.
It's a lot of money for
Got a lot of
utilities.
stuff running around the clock.
Yeah, and some of that stuff doesn't need to be running around the clock. That's why I want to kind of take a look at, instead of having one big central air unit, if we split it up, we could rotate that stuff and not have to run it all the time. And that would save a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh,
2
well,
years' time.
one more thing before I forget. Okay, we got our grant for the water project. So Cindy's working on the environmental part of. We have to do environmental. I can't think what you call it. There's an environmental thing that has to be done. Study.
I think she took care of that Friday. Don't quote me on
Okay,
that.
so that's moving forward. So yeah, that's coming up.
Do you have the maps of that stuff? I mean, I can email that to you too.
Email it to me, make sure.
Okay. I mean, there's sections, here and there. I mean, it's all over town, so.
Yeah,
And there's maps on where where we're gonna install valves, where sections of mains will go. Something to be thinking about for the board. The post office alley. We're gonna be replacing the water in there, I do believe.
Really?
So I think, I'll look at the maps again, but if we are, I mean, we're gonna have to come up with our own money to do something with either blacktopping it or concrete.
Well, yeah, we need to come up with a plan for that alley.
But you need to be thinking about a storm.
Yeah, that end, the west end of that definitely.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
upgraded.
if regardless, I mean, concrete's gonna be more expensive
But
on the front side, but that alley needs to be designed where, it's a V shape and that storm goes down the center. We have catches as we go.
Roger did a design on that, I think.
Okay, did he?
I think Roger has a design on that. But yeah, it's going to be 10% out of our pocket. Can't get any matching money for an alley.
Okay.
But yeah, we've kicked it around for years. We need to get it done. But so you think the water line or the water valve? Or
I
what?
think we're gonna be in that alley for sure. So,
Yeah, Roger did design work for this water project. And
I'll ask him about
not
it.
the design, but the PER. And he'll soon be starting the other part of it. But
I'm assuming you guys are gonna be involved in that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, once he does final design, and then the price changes, how far we're actually gonna get with the new skate in, the stuff that was in the plant. So I think, once he does final design and gets engineering estimates, then we'll see how many valves we're gonna do and all that.
okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure we got that in there.
So is that part of the water line that, see, we just located the one from Virginia Street all the way 36.
I don't know. I mean, there's a whole series of where, I mean, they're basically everywhere we're setting valves, replacing mains, setting hydrants. I'll send all that to you.
Okay.
So. You got anything, Roy?
No, sir.
Okay. You guys got anything else you want to add real quick?
think I'm good.
Ian?
I just got a couple things real quick. One is can I go ahead and get summer help started whenever, or is that
Yeah,
something?
I'm good with it. I mean, we usually have them in place by April, don't we?
Usually pretty quick. But the grass at the cemetery is really starting to green up, getting up. So we thought about we was waiting on him till May, but Mark passed today. If we thought we could get him earlier, and then we need to get somebody down at the park and depot and all that. So
I mean, we've already approved it in the budget. I don't think we need a motion on it or
Do you
anything,
have to
do we?
post it in the paper, advertise?
we're bringing back. Well, I think they'd already hired Harney back. So I think Jeff already told him he had the job for the cemetery.
Well,
So
you're in charge. You do what you think's best.
it's good. I like to keep him, and then
Okay.
of course the park. I have no problem with Pam. It's just her hours are going to be real limited until she's done driving a bus. You know what I mean? Because I've had conversation with some of the board members, and I honestly, as the person in charge down there right now, I don't want the responsibility of her being down there from 4 to 7, mowing around kids playing. Ball games will be going on. I just think it's a risk that's not worth taking.
Well, couldn't you put her somewhere else? I mean,
Yeah, I think we want to stay away from going around our regular working hours.
Yeah, I
unless
think
it's an
that's-
on-call situation.
well, I don't agree at all. I mean, if you have someone who wants to work and they want,
Well, the only,
I mean, the square needs work all the time. There's always something to pick up, clean up. There'll be push mowing over there in Jefferson. You have the depot property that needs to be. I mean, I think you could use it in the cemetery. I mean, you don't have to have it at the park after. I agree, the evening hours wouldn't be a good time, but during the days you could, and you could. But no, you got to be flexible in this workforce these days.
So if I have another guy,
I think Doug's issue with that though also is the fact that she'd be the only one on the clock at that
Yeah.
point in time.
Right?
Well, I mean,
Are we worried about that?
I think
yeah,
we should
if she
be
fell
worried
over and had
about
a
that.
heart attack. I mean, who you gonna wait for somebody to walk down the street to call an ambulance?
Well, that
I
could,
mean,
that
you
could
know.
happen with any employee at any time.
Well, yeah, but when you're on the clock, it's I mean,
Well, legal counsel. What's your take on that?
As far as when she works,
Well, yeah, they're saying if she was.
I mean, what do you feel? How
If
do
an
you feel
individual
about
was
it being
working
out there
after
by herself?
hours, or not after hours, different hours. I don't know what you call
Then
it.
how are you going to determine what hours everybody works?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
when
Because
somebody
you
else
are
comes and
in
says-
charge of deploying your assets. If you are, say, board or
So we're going to make Doug just deal with it, and submit.
No.
All those guys are going to say.
Yeah, that was
"Hey,
another point I had. So if we do this with her, and then I have a guy come in and say, "Hey,
Well,
I've got an opportunity to do
Here's
this.
how you answer
Can I
it. You
work
were
for-"
hired to work these hours. You don't like it, hit the freaking door. You were hired to work
I don't
these
think
hours.
you make exceptions. And honestly, I don't think
Well, that's
it's
not an
safe.
exception. That's saying these are the work schedule for this individual. I have that all over the place.
Oh, you do-
Different
you're the
employees
board,
working
but-
for- But I'm just saying,
Well-
people do that all the time, or companies do it.
I agree with your point, but I also don't want somebody out there by themselves. And we have people
Well, let's
coming
get
in
her. Let's
early.
get him a buddy to work with. No,
Is that what you want to
No,
do?
no, no.
Well, then,
So we want
but
two.
what I'm saying
No.
is, I mean, you guys schedule to come in early, 6 o'clock or whatever, to do the square and stuff.
We come in at 5
There's
to do the
more.
square.
There's
There's
2
more
or
than
3
one.
guys out there.
Yeah.
There's usually 3 guys.
Well, is there a risk? I mean, if we have employees working,
not any more than any other hours. I mean, I can understand the point. You know, you're one person on shift, but like if something happened, we're not any more exposure than we are if something happens during the regular shift.
yeah.
But you know,
Well,
if she
I-
did get hurt, she has no buddy
Yeah.
or a boss to ask, "Hey, this happened. What should I do?" or things
Yeah.
like that. I mean, you don't have people on.
Okay.
But it's not.
Then if she does get in trouble, has something, then you're calling somebody in on overtime. to
It's
come
more of
assist.
a.
You
your
got to
policy
admire the
more than
motivation of the
anything else.
individual. I guess is what I'm saying. They're motivated. They're willing to work 2 jobs, and not many.
Well, I
people
don't have a problem. I mean, set
do
the
that.
time. But I mean, I just think that it should be within reason, and it should be. There should be somebody with her, or at least on the clock. You know.
Yeah, because very seldom is any of the guys on any of our jobs. Now they come in on call on Saturday and Sunday and run lift stations, but if they have trouble, then they call another guy in to help them out.
Mhm.
So it's just a safety thing. And to me, after 4 o'clock or 3:30, down at the park, you've got a lot more people. People are getting
Oh, yeah.
off work, and I just
They have ball games every
yeah,
night.
it's just
Well,
not a
that's why I
safe
said
thing.
put them on the square, put them in the depot, put them in the cemetery, put them. There's lots of places work need to be done.
Right.
But anyway, it's just my thoughts.
Part-time seasonal help, I'd say she works during regular business hours, whatever our standard hours are. That's my opinion.
Well,
You guys are the
We stick
one.
with those hours, and then anything after that's an on-call situation.
well, okay.
That's my opinion.
Well,
And
you-
then-
I mean, she'll be in the bus from what up till the end last week of
I've got
May.
yeah.
And then-
She's on the bus from, hang on. Mhm.
27 or something like that's graduation.
She's on the bus from 6:30 to 8:30, and 11 to 12:30, and then 2:55 to 4:40. So essentially, she could still get in about 4 hours a day till school's out.
Well, Doug, you do what you think's best.
Okay.
You heard my thoughts. You heard the rest.
And I appreciate it, but it's up to me, and it's a safety thing. If she wants to work her short hours until she's done, that's fine. If not, we'll find
Okay.
somebody else.
Sounds good. Anything else? I got something else to bring
The only other thing is I can't think of the guy's name. I meant to write it down. A guy come in there today about community service with the teenagers.
They have to be monitored.
That's what I asked him. I said, "Are we responsible?" He said, "He's with them the whole time. It's his responsibility." So he will be calling me with 2 or 3 teens at a time with something to do. So I'll send them to the cemetery park, pick up trash, limbs, or
So you have an adult that's going to monitor them.
he will be.
Who is it?
I forgot to write his name
Probation.
down. Yeah, something to do. He does it for all the schools. Riverton,
Okay.
North Vermillion.
Yeah, as long as there's an adult responsible.
Yeah, that's what I asked him because I said, what about insurance? He said no. He goes, I bring him, I stay with him, and I take him back.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good to me.
but yeah,
Take
he'll
the
be.
help.
We don't know when, how often we'll get him. But there's always trash at the park and everything. So I just thought I'd let you guys know.
Everywhere, so.
Yep. Back to me.
A motion
Oh, a motion.
to adjourn if that's.
Not
what-
yet, not yet,
Oh,
almost,
I
almost.
thought you said you wanted to get out there.
Not yet. Well, no. One more thing. Well, I brought it up last year, and I'll bring it up again. And current legislation, the state laws eventually it's going to become law, code that you have to record your meetings and have it posted. It's not a law now, but there is legislation that's moved through
I
the House.
doubt that gets passed.
We like they're going to make it.
Really?
Last I read last week.
You
Well,
have
should
to
be.
record your meetings and
You
have them
record
posted?
either video or at least voice and post it. What's wrong with that?
I just don't
Posted
think they
where?
will.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Posted where?
Website, YouTube, wherever. But anyway, that brought up, I got to think about our service we have here, Park Without Reverse. And, last year I brought up, I feel like the service he provides to the town and all these different organizations. And, it's a nonprofit. It accepts donations. I feel like we should be somewhat supportive of this service because it's a huge asset for our community. I know several people that watch videos. Sometimes I wish they didn't. But, it's a darn good service and we're getting it free. I feel like we're just riding on the cheap here but not supporting an organization that's doing a heck of a service for us.
Can we make donations?
Well, that's a thing that's been asked, and I don't know. I don't know why. Well, why can't we make a donation? Is that a
You're
state?
donating public funds to a private entity.
They're not private. Well,
I think it's considered a public entity.
you're a public entity, don't you? Aren't you?
No one owns, society owns nonprofits, so no one owns.
But anyway, I guess look into it and see what we can do. I just
Okay,
feel it's
I can do
appropriate.
that.
We should support the service we're getting here because it's like I said, it's a heck of a service. And it looks like I don't know. It may not make it, but it looks like it's going to become potentially required.
I think it's a slippery slope that our legislature's done worse.
Well, it's public access. I guess people can't or don't want to make the meeting. They can listen in or watch.
No, when you dictate that you have to do things, it becomes problematic, I
It
think.
was interesting exclusion they had in it. I'm trying to think what boards they excluded. But
Oh, okay. Oh.
they did exclude. I'm not sure if it was school boards or something. It was kind of odd. But anyway, maybe I've been corrected.
seems odd.
One more thing we haven't resolved. We talked about setting up a fund at the foundation for the cemetery or cemeteries, and we haven't figured out yet. I guess
You can do that.
We can, with with the permanent funds we have on our fund report.
I thought I sent you something on that. Hold
You
on.
may have. Excuse me, it's been a while.
Basically transferring our funds is what we want
So
to
the
know.
family that donated that.
We don't know. It goes so far back. It's been on the
Oh,
books
no,
for decades.
But the most recent
The
one.
$500.
We're gonna use that, right?
Use it for what?
Just, they wanted flowers or something.
Any immediate,
It was-
immediate needs
Yeah.
or something at the,
Well, if that's what we certainly should do it. But the 30,000 we've had in a permanent fund
Right.
for decades is the thing I'm trying to see. We can put it in the foundation, so there's a fund there, so people, when their families, someone passes and they would like to do so, they can make a contribution to that fund for the cemeteries. That's what the goal is. I think you said back to last I remember, Nick, you were talking about figuring out the source of those funds.
Right. But I thought I sent you information on it. If not, I have it on my desk. There's a path to do it, though.
Well, that's something we need to keep pursuing, and long term, that could be very beneficial to cemeteries.
It's being done in other communities.
Yeah.
Well, that money's not, I mean, it's not doing anything.
Well, no, it's sitting there getting whatever the banks are paying in interest, which it's been kind of low. That's all right. I'll move to adjourn.
second.
All in favor? Aye.